All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to tear down the blueprint for engineering your escape from the 9-to-5 grind. And look, this isn't about wishful thinking or just dreaming about it. We're talking about a real, step-by-step engineering plan for your own freedom. So let's just jump right in with a pretty wild idea from our source. It basically says there's this massive lie being sold to all of us in the world of finance, a lie about what it really takes to be free. So what's the lie? It's that idea that you have to get lucky, right? You need to hit 100x on some crypto coin or, inherit a fortune from a long-lost uncle. But the truth, according to the source material, is, well, it's way more straightforward. It's about getting smart. Freedom isn't about luck. It's a system, a process of saving that, and this is the key part, anyone can actually follow. You build it yourself. You don't just stumble into it.
And, this right here, this is probably the most important mindset shift in the whole thing. We're taught to think of saving as deprivation, as saying no to stuff. But that's all wrong. It's actually the act of buying your own life back, literally $1 at a time. It's not a sacrifice, it's an act of pure liberation.
Okay, so that all sounds great, but how do you actually do it? How do you put this into practice? Well, it all starts with just one number. Seriously, forget everything else for a second. This is the single most important metric in this entire journey.
And that number is your savings rate. Yeah, it's that simple. Forget how much you make, forget your net worth for a minute. This 1%, the piece of your income that you actually keep, is what directly decides how fast you can become independent. It's literally the speedometer on your road to freedom.
And just look at this, because the difference this makes is, well, it's staggering. If you're saving the traditional 10%, you're in what's called the 10% trap. You have to work for nine years just to buy yourself one single year of freedom. It's a losing game. But look at what happens at a 50% savings rate. You work for 1 year, you buy 1 year of freedom. The math here is just, it's brutal and it's undeniable.
So there it is, 50%. That's the magic number. And the source is really clear on this. Getting to a 50% savings rate isn't just a little bit better. It's a complete game changer. It fundamentally breaks the traditional timeline to retirement. It takes decades of work and just crushes it down into a few years of really focused effort.
Okay, I hear you. A 50% savings rate? That sounds insane, right? Almost impossible. But the strategy to get there is actually surprisingly simple. It all comes down to one thing: widening the gap.
And this chart right here, it shows you exactly where to focus your energy. Seriously, forget about cutting out the $5 lattes. That's small potatoes. The source material is crystal clear. For most of us, about 70% of our entire budget goes to just three things: housing, transportation, and food. The big three. This is where the real battles are won.
So the game plan has two prongs. It's a two-pronged attack. First, you go after the big three with everything you've got. Maybe that's downsizing your apartment, driving an older car, becoming a master at meal prep, whatever it takes. And second, you master something called income arbitrage. It's a fancy term for a simple idea. Anytime you get a raise or make money from a side hustle, that money doesn't go to a fancier lifestyle. Nope. 100% of that new cash goes directly into your escape fund. This is how you hit the gas pedal.
All right, so you're widening that gap, you're saving like a machine. But where does all that money go? You can't just let it pile up in a checking account. No, you use it to build something very specific, very strategic: your freedom runway.
And here's the exact blueprint for that runway. It's built in 3 distinct stages. First, you build your stability base. That's your emergency fund, like 3 to 6 months of expenses, so you can sleep at night. Step 2 is your business seed fund. Think of this as your own personal venture capital to fund your next big idea. And then the final stage, the jump fund. We're talking 12 full months of living expenses. Once that fund is full, guess what? Your job is now completely optional.
And this is where things get really interesting, because once that jump fund is full, your entire mindset shifts. It's incredible. Your 9-to-5 isn't about survival anymore. Suddenly, it becomes a paid market research opportunity. You're learning new skills, you're making connections, you're testing ideas for your future business, and someone else is paying you to do it. Your whole perspective on your job just flips on its head.
But listen, all this aggressive saving, it's just the fuel for the rocket. It's essential, but it's not the final step. To get to true, lasting independence, you can't just let that fuel sit on the launch pad. You've got to ignite the engine.
Because here's the hard truth. If you just leave that Freedom Runway cash in a savings account, inflation is like a slow leak in your fuel tank. It's just eating away at your hard-earned money every single day. That money has to be put to work. It needs to grow. Saving gets you to the starting line, but investing is what actually propels you across the finish line.
And this is the end game. This is what financial independence really is. It's that beautiful crossover point where the money your investments and your side business generate is actually more than you need to live on. At that exact moment, you are well and truly free. You've already financially quit your job even if you haven't physically walked out the door yet.
So let's bring this all home now and circle right back to that huge mindset shift we talked about at the very beginning. Remember this. Every single dollar you choose to save isn't a sacrifice. It is not a no to that coffee you might want.
No, it's a yes. It's a powerful yes to a future where you, and only you, own your time. It's a yes to waking up when you want to working on things you're actually passionate about. It's a yes to getting back your single most precious resource, your own life.
And really, what it all comes down to is this. It's a yes to the person you could become. It's the seed money for that business you've been sketching out on napkins. It's the foundation for the community you want to build and lead. You're not just saving money, you're literally funding the next best version of yourself.
So we're going to end with a direct question, a call to action from the source material. If every dollar you save is another brick you're laying in the foundation of your own freedom, then the question is pretty simple, isn't it? How many bricks are you laying this month?